Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope you're doing well. Well, tonight's live stream is going to be about the Thomas Massey loss in Kentucky, which is part of the conquering of America, our nation. And I'm going to get into that. To me, it's obvious as can be what the hell's going on. And I don't think a lot of people are seeing it. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. But first, I want to discuss social media platforms, especially this one, all of them. Okay? I just want the AI algorithm and any human being that's in the system, if there are any left in these buildings that do social media, that I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to use code words and all this other stupid ass bullshit. I live in the United States of America. Okay? There are no community guidelines in the First Amendment. All right? All I know, under Trump, social media has changed. Now, under Biden, I got a channel canceled because I said too much truth about the Democrats. But under Trump, it's different. There's a lot of channels that are definitely losing viewers. The analytics are all screwed up, okay? Analytics is what, like your stats on your channel. All right? And there's lots of, if you use certain words, your views on that video go down. I mean, I've had videos where they won't put any views on. They bury it under YouTube. Okay, I still don't understand how I still have a channel. How come they haven't canceled me? But whatever, they just bury the truth, okay? And I'm just a little guy, but the thing is, my channel keeps growing little by little, okay? And like I say, I know what my channel's potential is. Before they really started banning my channel, I was getting 22,000 views on a live stream after 1 hour, 2,000 comments and stuff. I used to have to put it on slow chat, the comments on slow chat. I get nothing like that no more. No more 500 subscribers in 1 month, okay? It's just been a pain in the ass. Because you know why? The truth has become something that people aren't supposed to know. I mean, this is Joseph Goebbels' Nazi Germany 2.0. And all the social media platforms who used to hate Trump are now protecting Trump. Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, they're all buddies again, because X is just as fucking, that's just nothing but the one thing about X is a scamming place, okay? By the way, these social media, but see, I'm not going to shut up. I don't care. Okay, when a poor old man knows that what his power is, when I can get on a social media platform by just talking to my phone, and I can get rich-ass billionaire elites that want me shut up. They fear me. See, I don't fear those pieces of shit. I don't care if they want to send their fucking armies after me. I don't fear them. But they fear me. Or anybody else that wants to get on social media and speak their opinion. Okay? The thing is, just a lot of people want to hear their opinion, and they just keep smacking it down. But I appreciate everybody being here. If you please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and bell notification, and check out some of my other content. Stuff they don't want you to see. We're in a world of hurt, everybody. This channel isn't right or left. This channel is about bringing people together, recognizing who our enemy is, and taking them on, and getting our country back. What else is a Marine supposed to do? I took an oath to the Constitution and to the American people. Definitely not to a corrupt, fucking immoral government. I'm in the center. I'm a constitutional conservative, okay? I don't like neither fucking party because they both steal money from you through taxes, spend it on stuff that you don't want it spent on, and do everything they can to infringe on your constitutional rights. Which party doesn't do that? To me, they're no different. Okay? They promise a lot of shit, but they're no different. Okay? That's why we need to come together. You know, if you check out my content, my posts, I put a post out yesterday, you know, in Dumb and Dumber when they're sitting in that heart-shaped bathtub, and I took a photo of it, and I said, a liberal mega arguing about who is right. But anyway, YouTube's really shadow banning bad. And one of the reasons is because they don't want the truth to get out. The truth that our country is being conquered right now. Oh, yes, it is. And this Thomas Massey loss proves it all. And who's conquering us? Well, it'd be Israel. Now, I realize YouTube's probably going to start cutting this, you know. Anyway, it's Israel. Well, they're sitting there getting all Americans, the ones that are goofy, thinking that Iran is the problem. Iran's the big boogeyman and stuff. Iran's going to nuke America and the United States and take it over, which I don't see how they're going to do. Okay? But anyway, and Israel is the one that is conquering us. That election last night, that primary, proved it. Now, there was some cheating going on, too. The last primary Massey had to face, there was 50 or 60,000 votes. They had, what, 112,000? Okay? Let's not get into the cheating, but you know what? Why would the Republicans not? They obviously learned from the Democrats and a lot of other shit that they're doing. Okay? But Israel spent, or not Israel, Israel lobbyists spent what? $30 million. The candidate that beat Massey only had 70 Kentucky donors. 70? And the rest of the money came from Israel donors. And Tom Massey had 1,500 Kentucky donors. And you're telling me he won? Massey lost? Are you kidding me? Okay, Trump's approval rating's at 35%. And I voted for Trump, okay? I got kicked off the Trump train when I said there was a list. I didn't believe it was a hoax. And I got told, what did I do? I was a Democratic shield, right? We got insulted, okay? But I'm Republican, but you are not wrong. See, this is the thing. Our politicians don't care about us, people. When Israel can openly buy a seat, I mean, we all know that, you know, Pat Buchanan said 30 years ago that Congress is Israeli occupied territory. And now we're seeing it, where they flat out paid for an election. And I still think they had to sit there and cheat by 20,000 votes to win. Or even 30,000. Thomas Massey won last night. Okay? But see, we're allowing this. And like I say, we're all, the administration, they're trying to get us to focus on the boogeyman in Iran who can't hurt us whatsoever. Israel's taken over our government. I mean, is America part of the Greater Israel Project? I never knew about that. But can't you see it? The Trojan horse is in the gates. Okay? But we got our leaders allowing them in. I can see it so well. They are conquering our nation. They got so many of our politicians and Supreme Court justices in their pocket. I got one question. I hate lobbyists altogether. I don't think there should be any. But you explain to me why a Supreme Court justice needs a lobbyist. The only lobbyist he needs to look at is the fucking Constitution. I find it awful strange that a Supreme Court justice has lobbyists. Okay? Doesn't sound right to me. By the way, yep, YouTube's clamming down on this video. I tell you, they don't like you talking about Israel in a bad way. They don't want you telling the truth. I see things. I hear things. I can come up to my own conclusions. I don't need some editorial on some news station to tell me how I'm supposed to fucking think. That's not the way we were brought up as kids. We were taught comprehension so we could be self-thinkers. But anyway, they're totally conquering our nation. You get on here and say something bad, I mean, my channel's not allowed to grow. If you are out there, please hit that thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. But I got well over 2,100 videos in a year and a half. And for some reason, my channel was like taken off, and then it got shut down. I love it that a computer program gets to regulate my freedom of speech. I mean, when is Americans going to stand up? Everybody can see what happened in Kentucky. It was stolen, and it was sat there. A seat was paid for by Israel. Okay? I'm not going to listen to AIPAC is a foreign lobbyist organization. Okay? I don't know how Israel has all this freaking power. I don't understand. Like I say, I was there in 1987 in the Marine Corps. I thought it was a great place to be. I loved it there. But, their country's been hijacked by a bunch of criminals just like ours has. Do you use a translator? No. Where are you from? Where are you from? I'm from Nebraska, out here in the panhandle of Nebraska. I'm in flyover country. See, it's another thing why I see it. I'm in outside the bubble looking in. Politicians don't give a shit about us here, okay? We live in counties that have less than 2,000 people in it. Counties. Less than 2,000 people. They don't care about us out here. But then again, when you're starving in the city, I got food out on the hoof. Food in the fields and stuff. There's sacrifices that we have out here that, to me, they ain't sacrifices. Not having a Starbucks or a Walmart or none of that close by anywhere. I don't even know where the closest Starbucks is. Heck, you'd probably have to go to Denver, Colorado to get to the closest Starbucks. I'm originally from Siberia. I've always been an adventurous, and I thought it'd be cool to go to Siberia. We were supposed to be friends with Russia for a while, but I live in the USA. Well, that's good. And I'm sorry our country's turning into the old Russia. It must be these people that have come from communist countries from the 70s and 80s, migrated to this country after the Soviet Union fell. And now, believe me, those people understand communism. Okay? They understand waiting in line at stores. And all that is coming, okay? All that's coming. We connected ourselves with Israel. When I was in Israel, the one thing they always told me, if you want to understand us, you got to understand that we are surrounded by enemies on all sides. And that's why they take their weapons home with them. They go to the restaurant with them if they're in the military, weapons everywhere. And now we're going to become a nation where we're surrounded by enemies everywhere on all sides. I mean, Israel's trying to conquer us through the government so they can control us, because the only way they can have the greater Israel nation they want is if the U.S. gives it to them. You ain't going to see Israeli troops on the ground. It'll be ours. He's going to be dealing with Lebanon and stuff like that. He wants us to take care of his big wars so he can have his little wars. And Trump fell for it. They went to the second George Bush. Yeah, let's have a war with Iran. No. Obama. Let's have a war with Iran. No. Biden. Let's have a war with Iran. No. And they tried it with Trump the first time. Remember when that expensive $220 million spy plane got shot down, unmanned spy plane? And, they were thinking about going to war with Iran over that, trying to get Trump talked into war over that. Remember all that? What was that? 2000, that was 2017 too. It had him bombing Syria and shit 3 months into his first presidency. Do you really like history? I love history. I am a history fanatic. Okay? And that's the thing about history, okay? Is it repeats itself because, like I found out my travels in the Marine Corps, people are the same wherever you go. Cultures may be different, but the core human being is the same. And that's the way it's been through the beginning of the human beings. Our emotions have always been the same. Our technology's just changed. And we have more ways to fuck people over. I love ancient Greek history. I never was really into Greek history. Like I say, there's so much. I'm learning a lot about the Romans now and stuff, but I want to learn about the Babylonians, the Persians, okay, everything. You study these. All great empires fall because they crumble from within. Because they get lax, lazy. A successful nation that feels that, well, like I said, when I was growing up, right, we still had to work hard. I had blisters when I was 6 years old, okay? I've been doing manual labor ever since. Well, now we got hydraulics, we got electronics, everything to make life easier. I mean, we got it, so we don't even want to drive anymore. We want somebody driving our fucking car or a computer driving our car. That easy life is what destroys countries because people get complacent and then they get dependent, okay? Especially on the government. Any time that you sit there and want government to assist the public in more ways, that means the government has to get bigger. And that means the government needs more money. And it siphons more money from the public, okay? Like you say, if you want the government to help you out, well, you're just taking more money out of your pocket and making the government bigger. Okay, our founding fathers, social services weren't a big thing. They didn't want none of that shit. That's why they gave us freedom and liberty in the pursuit of happiness. So you could go make your own fortune and not have to rely on paying a bunch of taxes so the government can evenly distribute the money out. All right? I don't trust AI to drive for me. No. Like I say, I got my degree in electronics. Are you thinking I'm going to let a 1 and 0 be in charge of my life? Are you nuts? I mean, especially, let's get honest. When I was growing up, the failure rate of something you bought, even though it wasn't big electronics, was very low. Nowadays, hell, you get it to work 75% of the time. Yay! No, they're not driving me around. Okay? I mean, right now they got vehicles. The vehicles where the steering wheel isn't even mechanically connected to the front wheels in these new vehicles. No way. I guess when I can't sit there and buy my old vehicles no more, I'll get me a buggy, okay? Complete boomer. Sorry, I'm not a boomer. I missed it by 3 years. Oh, no, 2 years. I was born in 1967. Boomers were 1964 when that ended. God, get it right. Fucking dumbasses. I love messing with trolls. Anyway, what do you do? These people are on the sinking ship too, and they just don't give a shit. Whatever. But yeah, Israel is in the process of conquering the United States government. All right, and like I say, where are they getting all the money to do it? From us taxpayers. Us taxpayers we've been given Israel funding since they've been found. Since the country was formed. I remember arguing with some dumbass one time about who's the richest country in the world. Oh, Israel's the richest country in the world because it's got all the Jews. And I said, do you realize how much aid we give them every year? Anyway, crazy, right? Crazy. Boomer, we are so beholden to Israel. I'm not. I'm not beholden to none of these pieces of shit. These fucking beta males can kiss my ass. Lindsey Graham. Oh, let's talk about nothing about Trump. That he's bragging about. The man's lost it, okay? He's got a 35% approval rate in the United States. And he's bragging about having a 99% approval rating in Israel. Huh. Doesn't sound like Make America Great Again. It sounds like Israel first to me. Right? So I tell you what, Trump, why don't you head your ass on over there, take Lindsey Graham with you, and when Netanyahu finally gets done distracting the Israeli people and he gets thrown in prison for the shit he's done, you can follow him, okay? And all this, what is all this over? The frickin' Epstein list. Why Thomas Massey had to go. You know, no politician's perfect, like no human being's perfect. But that man basically went down fighting for us. I don't think his political career is over yet. It all depends on I would say, what he does in Congress while he's there, and I think he needs to sit there and just make a lot of fucking waves. Okay? Fuck it. You got 7 months to do it, buddy. Make everybody want you out of there. This is a stage for you to show what kind of president you would be these next 7 months. Okay, Thomas Massey? So let's see what kind of president you would be. But yeah, Israel, or the Epstein files. This is what this is all over. Can you imagine how bad those must be? Well, I'm sure it's really bad. Where they're willing to sit there and blow the fucking world up to hide it. Where they're willing to kill 90% of the population of the planet to hide it. But don't worry, these are the criminals in charge of us. See, they in charge of me have no authority over me. Okay? I no longer recognize this government. Fuck them. Okay? They are evil. I do not allow the devil or his minions to have any authority over me, ever. And if you're a Christian, you need to start thinking that way. Because when you go up to heaven and God asks you, well, during that time when it was rough down there, I didn't really see you doing anything. Didn't say anything. Didn't do anything. I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be the one. I was screaming my fucking ass off. Like I say, the First and Second Amendment is not just rights to exercise under a moral government. Okay? They're the responsibility to act under an immoral government. And that's what we have right now, is an immoral government. I mean, if the truth ever came out completely, okay, this would be... You couldn't get him to the guillotine fast enough. If you tried to bring him to trial, you wouldn't be able to build a prison that could protect him enough. I mean, if you had a child that disappeared, you know, those children that were on milk cartons back in the 80s, maybe 90s, that was part of the 90s too, and your child, you find out, had been taken to somewhere and abused by elites and sacrificed, and you found that out, what would you do to get at one of these fucking people? All I know is they're evil as fuck. I'm not afraid to call it out. And like I say, let them come pay me a fucking visit. Whatever, pussies. I'm so sick of these threats, and I'm supposed to be shaking in my shoes, and all these people that say, well, you can't do nothing about it, you just got to accept it. Because I'm down on my knees sucking their cock because I won't stand up on my feet. You know, it's us crazy people that are standing up to this shit, while any of you lackluster patriots still have your freedom. Because they know they have to go through us. And right now we outnumber them, and all us vets are trained, can run all the equipment, and are way better military than they got now. The biggest military in the world is all us vets in America that they've created after 36 years of war. Constant war. That's the only thing that's keeping them in check up to the point with them not going full bore. But they're still doing it. I mean, the new government rule where if you disagree with Trump, Israel, or MAGA, you're a domestic terrorist and you're on a list. All these data centers going up. I mean, like I say, how have we not thrown off this government yet? Explain that to me. And now we have Israel flat out buying a congressional seat. Okay? Plus all the other people that are getting paid by Israeli lobbies. You know, get rid of the lobbyists. When we get our country back, there isn't going to be no more lobbyists. Fuck that. Okay? There ain't going to be no more pork in bills. A bill will deal with what it deals with. Okay? And they're not going to pass a defense bill and then have money going to experiments on how to make frogs gay. Okay? That's not happening no more. We need to take our country back. What do you think about what happened in San Diego? I don't know. I'm sorry, I haven't watched the news. What happened in San Diego, not what went down. You can't call someone a Nazi sympathizer, but you yourself have Nazi beliefs. How do I have Nazi beliefs? I have studied the Nazis. Believe me, from the conception to the end. You explain to me how I'm a Nazi. You explain to me how I'm like Adolf Hitler, or Goering, or Himmler, or Heydrich, or Hess, or Ernst Karl Brunner. Should I go on? Or Martin Bormann? Fucking dumb fucks. You want to sit there and compare brain pans when it comes to World War II and Nazi Germany, you're going to fucking lose. Just because I don't agree with communism. I'm an American. You know, America is not fucking Europe. Europeans escaped Europe to come to a country where there was nothing there. They had to start cutting down trees to make a place to live. The American idea started in Europe and it migrated to North America. Okay? I'm sorry, I don't sit there and look at the chat all the time. Okay? You know, you want to see how I feel? I got over 2,000 videos on YouTube. Check it out. Instead of coming on here, watching me for 30 seconds and coming up with an opinion, okay? Do a little bit more research, fool. Of course I don't hate Jews. Why would I hate Jews? Why would I hate anybody? I hate evil people. And there are evil people in every race, color, nationality, religion, economic status. There's evil people everywhere. Okay? And in religions. I hate evil people. How is that? Does that answer your question? I don't believe like the Jews, but I don't believe like the Muslims, and I don't believe like the Hindus. You know, I pretty much believe in God in a Native American way. What, are you going to hate me for that too? Do you hate Indians? Do you hate Indians, sir? Do you hate Native Americans? Anyway, go ahead, call me a fucking Nazi all you want. I really don't give a shit. That just shows you lack of education, sir. Lack of education. Anyway, but you know, this thing, you sit there and say anything bad about a group. Oh my God, I call Netanyahu a crook. Oh, so do the Jews. But since I call Netanyahu a crook, I'm calling all Jews a crook, right? Even though the Jews call him a crook. Like I say, I was over in Israel, sir, in '87. Had a great time. Did training with the Israeli commandos when I was in the Marine Corps. Did a lot of diving in the Red Sea and stuff. Okay? So, you know, fuck you. Anyway, Zionist is Antichrist. We don't need a greater Israel and third temple. We don't need Israel in charge of the world, just like we don't need the United States in charge of the world, just like we don't need Russia in charge of the world, or China, or North Korea, or England, or France. None of this shit. I mean, this is the thing. Out of all the empires that the world has seen, what has destroyed them besides internal strife? Them expanding. Okay? Wars everywhere. Until they have barbarians on all their borders picking at them. Just like this country, when we have a four-front war. East Coast, West Coast, northern border, and southern border. But that could never come, right? Not in the United States of America. I've seen this since the 90s. Okay? I was telling people in the early 2000s that eventually the big, you know, the king of the hill was going to get surrounded and everybody was going to come at him at one time. Okay, and that's what we're getting. I mean, our foreign policy, what's our foreign policy? You either agree with us or we're going to try to kill your leaders and bomb your country. That's our foreign policy now. Instead of speak softly and carry a big stick like Teddy Roosevelt, it's fucking threaten and scream your ass off while you're swinging the stick. Right, Trump? That's what I see. We need a king. Okay. All right. Well, then I hope your family in the future never gets on the bad side of the king. I mean, anybody who would sit there and look up to another human being and say, your word has control over my life, doesn't understand the first thing about freedom. And obviously doesn't have the feeling that they can accomplish anything. I mean, I understand why people feel they need the government to help them out, because they don't feel they can accomplish anything on their own. They never challenged themselves or been challenged by anybody. So they never found out what their capabilities were. They never maximized their potential. Anyway, hey, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up to subscribe and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow. And check out my other content. I got 2,100 plus videos on there. And YouTube hates most of them. I love knowing that I can get on here and drive some people just out of their minds. I can make the AI algorithm start burning chips, and I can make a rich billionaire elite, you know, kind of know what's coming down the future, okay? All tyrants, they never stop, okay, on their own. They got to be forced to stop. But this time, when we stop the tyrants, we're also going to stop the ones that were funding them. So you Rothschilds and Rockefellers and Vanderbilts, the world's too small for you people to hide now, okay? Way too small. So anyway, the elite don't really gaff. They just they don't plan on dying. Well, they're going to die. That's another part of their mental illness. I mean, to think they can make themselves superhuman. I mean, I'm going to be 59 this year, and I get around really good for my age. I haven't gone to the doctor in over 20 years. I have no medical issues. These rich fucking billionaires would give half their fucking money if they could have what I had. See, when you get our age, health is wealth. Okay, they ain't gonna fucking live forever. I mean, did George Soros live, or didn't he die? No, it wasn't. It was which of the rich elites just died? I can't remember. Ted Turner died, and there was another one. I mean, they all die. I mean, just think they're gonna live forever, and that's a problem. I want to explain something to you people living forever. How much of a lonely life that would be. Now follow me here. I have children and I have grandchildren. Let's say I was immortal, knowing this. Once everybody you know and are close to dies, you start dealing with death so much, you're never going to get close to anybody again. You'll where you're going to want to die. I mean, immortality would be a curse, not a blessing. Okay? People don't understand that. I want to live forever. I want to outlive everybody I know, everybody I care about. Let's say you go on for another 100 years getting to know people and fate dealing with death. There'll be a point where you're just going to become a hermit in the middle of nowhere. Wondering why, God, I wish I could just fucking die. And that's what these people wish for. A fucking curse. I mean, did the the Roman soldier that supposedly lanced Jesus aside get cursed with immortality and doesn't get to die until Christ comes back? This is the complete lunacy of these people. Complete lunacy. Half the people with Trump are never Trumpers and are not his useful idiots. He's Bush. Yeah. Lindsey Graham, never Trumper. It's like all these people all of a sudden get the fuck along. Where do your loyalties lie? I only hang out with very few people. Very few. Less than on this hand. Okay? People that I can count on, that can count on me, we're always there for each other. But, he's own VP. But these people, where do you stand? They stand where the money is, okay? A worthless green piece of paper. This is the thing. When the status quo changes and our money can no longer be held up by our good faith and it actually crumbles the way it is, all these people it's going to be bad. I mean, when Lindsey Graham's going to have to face reality, okay, with all these shortages we're having, I mean, eventually with this war going on in Iran, which I don't think they're going to start bombing again, because I don't think China and Russia are going to allow that this time. Okay? So we either got to pack up and go home. Well, we lost. Israel lost, okay? And that's one reason Israel wants to conquer our government, so they can sit there and use our military and say, go ahead and nuke them. Just go ahead and nuke them. Yep. Our government is Israeli-occupied territory, and that's what this election brought out. And it was a sad day for America when, Americans see this happening, can see that this election was stolen. We don't have a fair election anymore. And we can obviously see we're not going to vote our way out of it, okay? The time is coming that we're going to have to do what our destiny demands us, what our founding fathers ordered us to do. to throw off this government and replace it with new guards for the future of our security. It's come to that time, people. It's come to that time. Rome had 4 civil wars, I believe. Each one was bloodier than the last one. We need to, not a civil war, we need a war to reinstate the Constitution as written, okay? And that doesn't mean with slavery or none of that shit. Our society has matured past the point of thinking that people should own other people. So all you people that are, I need reparations, grow the fuck up, okay? Nobody wants to own you because it would cost them money to have your ass. Do you like... Anyway, but yeah, it's this country's gone to hell. And I hope America, when they finally get punished enough, I made a video about waiting for other people to catch up. I feel like I'm the point man, okay? And I see what's coming on. I'm out there looking, and I'm trying to show other people the danger. Anyway, but I just got to wait for people to catch up. Because obviously a lot of Americans haven't been abused enough. Maybe $10 gas will get us there. Or maybe $10 for a gallon of milk and a loaf of bread will get us there. What do you think it's going to take for Americans to sit there and stop drinking the Kool-Aid? When they're willing to interrupt their lives a little bit without Walmart or McDonald's for maybe a while, so that we will have a better life in the future, and their children and their grandchildren will grow up free, okay? Because I'll tell you right now, the path we're taking, this country's taking, is leading to destruction, okay? Because of this war in Iran, there's allies of ours that are hurting. Countries that are having to ration gas now, like, our allies, we're so. And then let's talk about the China visit. Trump got bitch slapped. Trump got disrespected and bitch slapped. Okay? Get out there, little boy. You ain't shit. So anyway, thought that was rather comical. His ego took a little bit of a hit, but hey, I got the press behind me, the U.S. press, saying I was victorious over there. I'm questioning everything in life now. Yeah, you have to. Even if you see it on social media, if it don't look right or sound right, it's probably AI. The thing is YouTube, right? They want me to use AI to enhance my videos. Why would I want to make my videos fake in any way? This is me. When I do my shorts and I speak into my phone and I give my 5 to 15 second shorts, I'm talking to you. It's me. I'm not hiding behind anything. Okay? Spice it up with AI. We live in a fake world, and they're pushing it. And some creators are doing it just so they can keep their channel going. See, this is the thing, YouTube. I don't need YouTube money. I don't make no money on YouTube because they won't fix my AdSense account. So they won't fix it. So anyway, it's a long story. But I got a job. I'm doing this because people need to be warned what's coming down the pike. People need a place to come together and discuss. Like I say, this ain't about right or left on this channel. This is about Americans coming together and putting an end to this bullshit that's going on in this country. Anyway, I've been going on for about 45 minutes. YouTube's smacking down on it. So I'm going to get out of here. But the thing with this social media is the new town square. It's where people go to get information. And now we got AI algorithms and rich billionaires determining what you're allowed to hear. Okay? I always put it like in the town square back 100 years ago when the politicians who were running for office would be given their speeches, right? And you got the narrative Trump mega fucking retard, like the guy who just won in Kentucky, the primary, giving his fucking speech with a megaphone, and he's got about 10 people and they're trying to push more people at him. And I'm sitting there in a fucking soundproof phone booth, and people are they're gathering around me because they want to hear what I have to hear, because they don't understand why I'm being silenced. They're curious. Okay? That's a new town square. I get put in a soundproof booth. Well, hey, as long as you support the narrative, you get a blowhorn. They just got to sit there and funnel people into you. Hey, we'll give you a ticket to the baseball game. We'll give you a voucher to McDonald's if you come listen. Sound familiar? Anyway, our political system has been hijacked, quite obvious. Like I say, Thomas Massey, Israel, MAGA, Donald Trump's an idiot. You don't like that, YouTube? Fuck you. Okay? Because in the future, you people in charge of these social media platforms will be held accountable too. When the ball starts rolling, there's going to be a lot of pins that get knocked the fuck over. And it ain't going to be, well, we'll just pay you a fine. No, you're going to prison and you're getting all your assets in the U.S. confiscated. And we'll use that to help pay off the debt. Fuck it, I'm done with this. You want to be a social media platform and infringe on people's right to speak and be heard? Go to a country that allows that. Because in this country, when we get our country back, that will be against the fucking law, like it is against our constitutional rights. But like I say, until we enforce the law, I guess they're not breaking it, are they? Just like with the Epstein list. We can't enforce the law. That'll bring down governments in the world. No shit. We're being led by a bunch of demonic criminals. Okay? You want them to have authority over you? Not me. Not ever. Okay? Never will I go down on my fucking knees. Anyway, let's just say the Marine Corps didn't help my personality none. And I already had a scrapping personality when I was in high school and stuff. Where were you a drill sergeant in the Marines? No, I wasn't. See, in the Marine Corps, when I went in during Reagan, right? And when Clinton took office after the first Gulf War, they downsized everything. The military had to get rid of 25% of their force, all branches, in 3 years. So that means the Marine Corps had to get rid of 53,000 people in 3 years. Well, of course, they were still bringing recruits in, right? Well, I happened to be in an MOS at the time that only had 52 people in it. I was in a very small MOS. And they cut it to 26 people. And they ran it like a big business. If they didn't have a place to put you at re-enlistment, I had over 6 years, I had 8 years in, so I got severance pay and a fucking thank you. I got $12,000 and a thank you. There were guys that had 18 years in that got the fucking shaft. 2 years from retirement. And what did they get? Severance pay and a thank you. And all the B billets, it didn't matter. You couldn't get in the drill field. You couldn't join embassy duty. You couldn't go to the recruiting field, because if they couldn't extend you in your MOS, they wouldn't let you stay in. That's why when all these government employees got laid off last year, I didn't really give a fuck. Because it happened to me back in 1994. So I don't really give a fuck. It's about time they heard a little bit too. So yeah. That's the best thing to do to a gung-ho Marine. Here, we don't need you no more. Welcome to the civilian world. But I'm sure you won't have a single problem. Well, anyway, but our government has transformed into something really evil, and I realize that my service to my fellow citizen in the Constitution is not over. No, it's not. I just got to wait for more people to catch up. Anyway, I appreciate you all being here. Please hit the thumbs up to subscribe and the bell notification. And please check out my other content and share it. Okay? It's going to be hard to fix this problem. It's not going to be an easy problem to fix because we let it go for so long. But if we Americans do not take our country back because of our not wanting to act and take our country back and fucking deal with these criminals, it's going to be the end of the world. I mean, I can see where people blame the end of the world as we know it on America, the American citizen, because the American citizen had all the tools that the founding fathers gave them to throw off this fucking government and bring peace to the fucking world. And we wouldn't do it. How does that make you feel? Make you feel like you got a little weight on your shoulders? Make you feel like there's other people like you in other countries hoping that you will do something to stop your government from its tyrannical bullshit? They're in another country. They can't do shit. Just like Iran can't do shit to us. But god dang Americans can sit there and put an end to this shit. And America would become great again if us patriots did something about it. Anyway, I guess that little speech will get me on a fucking list. But I really don't care, you bastard beta male fucksticks. Like I say, who taught me how to fight tyrants? Our government in the Marine Corps. And when I do what I'm trained to do, I'm a domestic terrorist. Call me, the Democrats and Republicans both now have called me a domestic terrorist because I'm a Marine who believes in the Constitution and not all this silly shit going on and can read between the fucking lines and is not a fool who's drinking the Kool-Aid. Okay? Yeah, I'm a patriot. And like I said, people say, well, you sound so radical. What do you think a tavern in New York or Philadelphia sounded like in, the early 1770s up until after the Revolutionary War started? What do you think a tavern sounded like? Hell, what do you think a minister in a church giving his sermon sounded like? Far more radical than me. Okay, they were preaching from the pulpits back then, how evil the government was. And now we got the church, 2020, remember the church canceled Easter because the government said so. Fucking sick-ass world we live in. Anyway, my husband is pissed. Okay, the Skynet is coming, Judgment Day is upon us, yep. Golden Dome is coming, Judgment Day is upon us. Yeah, anybody can fucking see that. But maybe the American people can decide to stand up and maybe try to put a hiccup in that plan. What do you think? Anyway, well, I guess YouTube's got me down to one viewer. I appreciate you being here, holding on. Anyway, I'll be back again, like I say. I love punching the algorithm and these fucking billionaires' fucking buttons. I mean, all they got to do is come here and stop me. Shouldn't be too hard. Like I say, I'm not scared of them. They're scared of me. Anyway, this is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.